Yo everyone, welcome out to the first challenge video here on the channel. We do tons of Pokemon Nuzlockes and live streams every single day, so please make sure to subscribe and like the video if you guys haven't already. I wanted to commemorate the occasion by doing a challenge run that would be meaningful to the channel. So in today's video, we will be determining whether you can beat Pokemon Shield with only an Eevee. Now that right there is what the people at home would call on brand. Looking at Eevee's stats, it has a very solid special defense with a move pool in the game that could allow it to really take advantage of its base 55 attack stat. Lucky for us, Eevee in this game can get adaptability as an ability, and this mixed with an adamant or brave nature Eevee could really do some damage to our opponents. A lot of the moves we will be teaching Eevee come from TRs. That means we'll have a lot of work to do in the wild area to either save up enough watts to buy them, or get lucky that a Dynamax Pokemon will drop it as a reward after completing a raid battle. Even then, we're limited to very few moves that'll actually be helpful to us in this run. It's time to talk about the rules. Rule number 1, Eevee is the only Pokemon that I can use in battle. Rule number 2, hacking the game or using any glitches is not allowed, not that I would really know how to do them anyway. And rule number 3, I can only use held items in battle, meaning no potions, no X items, anything of that sort. Now since there's one Eevee that'll be most helpful for us in the game, we have to wait until we hop on the train to get it. Plus, no hacking or glitches as a part of the rules means that I can't hack in Eevee as a starter. Also, like I said, I'm not smart enough to know how to do that anyways, so we're just gonna leave it at that. This means we'll have to play through the beginning of the game and defeat a total of 5 trainers with one of the 3 starters that are offered to us at the beginning of the game. I wasn't too concerned about this because, let's be real, if I would have theoretically lost Eevee to any one of these trainers that we had to use a different mon for, I might as well just delete my channel. To increase the difficulty down the line, I specifically chose Sobble as my starter so our rival would have Scorbunny. This means our rival will have access to very strong fighting and fire type moves such as Pyro Ball and Double Kick later in the game. That way it's not going to be such a walk in the park later on. I played through the game with Sobble until we fought Hop for a second time at Professor Magnolia's house where Leon endorses us for the Pokemon League. That encourages us to go to Motorstoke for the opening ceremony to meet all the gym leaders. After we take a nice little train ride, we stop at the wild area where you can talk to my lad Joe over here, who will give us an Eevee. Note that you had to have been able to play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee for this interaction to work properly. I talked to this man over and over again for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Until this lad finally gave me an Eevee with adamant nature and adaptability as its ability. I appropriately named it Nala Jr., taught it Swift, and then we went back and fought any trainer on the beginning routes that I skipped until we had Eevee at this point. I then decided to give myself a makeover because after talking to Joe for 1 hour and 10 minutes, your girl decided she deserved it. Back to the content that you care about. I went back to the wild area to get the leftovers, we got a fresh looking haircut, and then went to check out the hotel where a group of pink thugs decided to scream into our face. So, we do what any normal person would do and decide to fight them in the middle of the hotel lobby and not pay for any of the damages. Right? We went to meet Marnie, who apologizes for their behavior, and we go to bed and wake up the next day to the opening ceremony. After meeting all the gym leaders and realizing how much of a queen Nessa is once again, Hop challenges us to a battle where we completely and utterly wipe the floor with him. We make our way into the mine where this very sassy man in pink named Bede challenges us to a battle. With Eevee knowing Bite, we quickly ran through his team and move on with our lives. Oh, look at that, it's gym time, aka playing with Wooloo until Milo decides that we're worthy enough. Wow, if only college were that easy. Going into the gym at level 22, we were able to make quick work of his Gossifleur. Eldegoss, on the other hand, decided to be really stubborn, and I genuinely thought it was gonna live on 1 HP and kill us. But Eevee decided to really pull through with one last quick attack, and we got our first badge. Deciding to move on with our life, we take on some raid battles until we obtain the TR for Shadow Ball. We then run into Team Yell, who are once again screaming in someone's face for no apparent reason. We defeat their team, and run into a battle with Hop on the bridge. We're able to get through his team pretty fast with a combination of Swift and Quick Attack. He sends out his Rabu, and Double Kick did prove to be as scary as I thought it was going to be at the beginning of the game. However, Eevee manages to tank it and defeat Rabu with one last quick attack. We make our way to Hulberry, and at this point I was feeling really confident in our team. Yeah, that didn't last long. Entering the gym at level 26, both Goldeen and Aracuda went down to Swift and Quick Attack. Dreadnought, on the other hand, proved to be a problem. Our Gmax Cuddles did hardly any damage at all, so we were forced to use our non-stab moves and pretty much hope for the best. We take damage pretty fine. The main issue was just not being able to deal us much in return as the damage we ourselves were taking. This went on for not 1, 2, or 3 battles, but on the 4th battle, boys and girls, I figured out a strategy that would work. At level 34, I was able to defeat Goldeen and Aracuna without taking any damage. This left us at full health by the time Nessa sent in Dreadnought. We both Dynamax and Gigantamax, and I specifically went for Max Phantasms, purposefully trying to drop Dreadnought's defense. That way when we went to normal size, I was able to use Quick Attack and do more damage. And with that, folks, we got our second badge. Elena meets us outside and insults us so much that we decide, you know what, I do want to have lunch with you. So we meet the chairman, who's wearing some fantastic polka dot shorts, by the way, and stuff our faces with some chicken nuggies so we can move on with our lives. We go into Galar Mine number 2 and proceed to get insulted by a bully in pink. We defeat him without any issues as Bede's entire team goes down pretty easily to both Bite and Shadow Ball. Oh look, Team Yell is yelling again! Who would have thought? After a quick battle, we get them to stop. I then go to the hotel where Marnie greets us, and once again we decide to have a battle in the middle of the hotel lobby and not one singular person questions it. That manager definitely hates us at this point. Marnie's team goes down without any difficulty, and we wake up early to take on Kabu's gym the next day. As most of you know, Kabu's gym is difficult because his mons are set up to burn and intimidate your team, dropping your attack. I knew that in order to defeat Kabu, I needed to defeat both his Ninetales and his Arcanine before they could burn me. So I took some time to grind and took him on at level 45. Turn 1, I decided to Dynamax and Gmax Cuddled the Ninetales and the Arcanine, taking them down in one hit. Kabu Gigantamaxes his Centiskorch, and I Gmax Cuddle one last time, taking the Centiskorch down to about half health. I tanked 2 Gigantamax Butterflies and were able to defeat Kabu with just one last bite. Going back to the wild area, I went and got the TR for Body Slam, then headed towards Hammerlock. Here Sonia shows us the legend of the Sword and the Shield, and we defeat Team Yell once again. Going through the route, we were able to pick up the TM for Dig, which will be huge for us during the rest of the playthrough. We make it to Stow on side, and Hop decides to battle us once again. His Cramorant goes down in one Body Slam, Silicobra lives one Dig but paralyzes us with Glare. However, we managed to break through the paralysis and defeat both Toxel and Raboot with just one Body Slam. This means it's time to face Alistair. I knew this was going to be a hard battle, so I grinded up to level 50 and was able to get through the first part of the Ghost Gym with ease. I knew I had to defeat Mimikyu quickly because it using Baby Doll Eyes would quickly make our attack stat useless, meaning that Bite would not do as much damage as we would need to defeat this gym. Thankfully, I was able to defeat Mimikyu with just a few Shadow Balls, which led Alistair to send out Cursula. Thankfully, going against the family name, it decided to not curse me at all and went for Ancient Power, which allowed me to take it down in 2 moves. Gengar comes in, and while we have a quarter of our health left, we both Gigantamax. Now let me tell you, this thing is big, scary, and purple! That was a SpongeBob reference. We managed to land 2 Max Darknesses and secure our 4th badge. Outside, Bede decides to harness his anger issues and destroy a finger painting with the giant elephant and just assume that no one's gonna have a problem with it. Plot twist, they have a problem with it. We defeat him in a battle and the chairman revokes his elephant usage and decides to kick him out of the Pokemon League Challenge. We then yeet ski ourselves out of that awkward confrontation and head to Bellenley Town to take on the gym leader. As several of you know, this gym is difficult due to the trick questions that they ask you in the middle of a fight. Get it right and they raise your stats, get it wrong and they lower your stats, meaning you have a much harder fight ahead of you. I body slam the first turn and get poisoned from sludge. However, I managed to answer the questions correctly, boosting my stats. Mawile goes down after taking us down to 1/4 health. I decide it's time to Gigantamax. Opal sends in Togekiss, and I'm able to infatuate it with Gmax Cuddle, saving me from another turn of damage. 1 turn later, Togekiss goes down and it's time for Gigantamax Alchemy. I Gmax Cuddle, hoping to get lucky with infatuation rolls. It's too in love with Eevee and is unable to move. After answering the last question right, I got my stats boosted and was able to outspeed, taking Gigantamax Alchemy down with just one last body slam. We head to Hammerlock with Opal, where she decides that Bede looks fabulous, and decides to kidnap him to Bellenley, where she decides to mentor him so he can become the next gym leader in her place. On our way to Sir Chester, Hop stops us for another battle. We make it through most of his team without an issue, but his Cinderace absolutely destroys us, and I realize that we need a lot more levels. I grind up to level 58, and I'm able to defeat his Cinderace and Snorlax with little to no issues. We breezed through the next route and made our way to Sirchester. We go through probably the most annoying puzzle in the entire game and make our way to Melanie. Frostmoth comes out and goes down to 1 Body Slam, just like Darmanitan and Ice-Q. Lapras comes out and we both Gigantamax, I G-Max Cuddle and take Lapras down to half its health. We tank 2 G-Max Resonances and are able to take Lapras down with just 1 last G-Max Cuddle. Our queen Sonia meets us outside and congratulates us for our hard work and takes us out to get some chicken nuggies. Hop gets so excited over these chicken nuggies that he decides to battle us, but this time we take it outside and decide to not destroy the inside of an establishment. No chicken nuggies were hurt in the making of this episode. The only thing that was hurt was my pride. Hop, Cinderace, and Snorlax made quick work of Eevee, and so I knew it was time for more levels once again. I then took him on at level 66, one-shotting his double and Cinderace. Snorlax managed to barely live, but the hail damage made it go down in just 1 more Body Slam. Corviknight gets paralyzed from Body Slam, which allows us to get through the rest of Hop's team with ease. We finally make it to the next route where Marnie meets us outside of Spike Month and challenges us to a battle. Just like last time, we're able to make our way quickly through her team with basically no effort at all. Once inside Spike Month, we are told we cannot proceed without having a second Pokemon. So I went ahead and added Magikarp to our team, who we appropriately named Mr. Stuff. The reason I went to get a Magikarp was because I wanted to make sure that even if I did get a chance to attack, I could only use Splash instead of perhaps grabbing another Eevee from the wild, which could potentially growl the other team or boost our stats, which I feel like would have given me an unfair advantage, so Splash it is. Since there's only 1 double battle anyways before the gym leader, it wasn't much of an issue and we made our way to Piers. I knew this was going to be a challenge due to his Pokemon having Intimidate and Eevee not having a super effective move on any of his Mons. Therefore, I went back and got Eevee to level 70 before taking him on. Turn 1 we go for Body Slam and got our accuracy dropped by Sand Attack. Piers sends out Obstagoon, and knowing that it typically goes for Obstruct turn 1, I decided to dig and then take out Obstagoon in only 2 Body Slams. By the time Piers sent out Skuntank, I had roughly a third of my health, but I knew I needed to be careful of its ability Aftermath. Thankfully, with 1 last Body Slam, we were able to take down Piers and I live on 27 health to spare. 7 badges down, 1 to go. This meant it was time to head to Hammerlock, where I gave Eevee the TR for Iron Tail. I knew Rayhan was going to be a problem, but he wiped through my team not once or twice, but 3 times before I finally managed to take him down on the 4th attempt. I had to level up my team to level 79, and 1 turn Body Slam Flygon so I couldn't use Breaking Swipe and drop my attack. Sandaconda comes out and it's time to Gigantamax. I max Steel Spike the Sandaconda and unfortunately get paralyzed. I G-Max Steel Spike and was able to thankfully crit the Gigalith. Duraludon comes in and I decide to risk it for the biscuit and use Dig even though I'm paralyzed. The rules decide to work out in my favor and we were able to 2-shot the Duraludon and Shadow Ball the Sandaconda, giving us our last gym badge. I genuinely have no idea how I didn't manage to get paralyzed for 1 turn, but thank goodness because I was slowly drifting into insanity. We make our way to Winden Stadium and it's time to face our rivals once again. Marnie's at first and we basically take out her entire team with 1 hit of Body Slam and call it a day. Next up is Hop. We managed to take out his double, Snorlax, and Penurchin with hardly any issues at all. Corviknight falls to a barrage of Shadow Balls and we're once again face to face with Cinderace. For some reason it decides to go for Max Airstream instead of a move that could actually do any real damage to me, so we land Dig and are able to take out Hop's last Pokemon in just 1 hit. Leon decides to take us out to celebrate our victory with more chicken nuggies, but when we go to meet him, he's missing. Hop tells us that Leon would never miss out on a chicken nuggie date, so we go on a wild goose chase to the top of Rose Tower where we're met with Alina. This chick is either having a really bad day or just decided to turn into Medusa, so rightfully, we decided it's better to slay the demon in good Sam and Dean Winchester style, rather than let her terrorize the rest of Galar. After Gigantamaxing early, we make quick work of the first half of her team and manage to take her down without much of a fight at all. We awkwardly interrupt the chairman and Leon's conversation about saving the world and whatnot, and convince him that chicken nuggies are far more important. The next day, it's time to rematch the gym leaders to take on the champion. Beat shows up and demands a battle, but we basically one-shot his entire team with Body Slam. Nessa appears, and I was nervous for this fight after how hard our original battle was against her the first time. We take nearly half damage from Galissapod, but are able to one-shot the rest of her team with Body Slam once again. The only problem is that a majority of her team managed to outspeed us, so while we were doing major damage, I stayed in low health for nearly the entire battle. Dreadnought comes out and we both Gigantamax. I managed to outspeed and go for Max Quake, which almost one-shots, and were able to quickly finish it in the next turn. Alistair is up next and quickly goes down to Shadow Balls. Rayhan, now that he's a single battle, is much easier than last time. We're able to Body Slam Torkoal, Turtonator, and Flygon, which left us at 1/3 health by the time we both Gigantamax. Therefore, we were able to defeat Duraludon in just 2 Max Quakes. Champion time, right? Wrong. Turns out we've got the world to save. Hop and I return to Slumbering Weld, where some good boys guide us to the heroic Sword and Shield. We then return to Hammerlock, where we convince the chairman that maybe destroying the world isn't such a good idea after all. He challenges us to a battle instead of listening to the intelligent child in front of him. I leveled up to level 91 knowing this is going to be a more difficult battle. I dig turn 1 then Gigantamax to take out the rest of his team. Escavalier and Ferrothorn both go down to Max Quakes, and we're basically able to follow that same strategy to take down the rest of his team. Upstairs, we summon some good boys and defeat a giant space demon with our good friend Sean the Sheep over here. And the chairman realizes that maybe summoning a giant space demon wasn't such a good idea after all. Hopefully he'll get the hint for his assistant as well, but that's a problem for another day. Our work here is done. Time to take on the champion. I tried taking him on before, but I found that getting unlucky rolls against his Rhyperior would cost me the match. So I said screw it and leveled up to level 100. Aegislash goes for King's Shield turn 1, so we decide to dig. Aegislash manages to land 1 Sacred Sword, but we finish it off after he heals with 1 Shadow Ball. Hackstars is next, and we manage to take it out with just 1 Body Slam. In comes Rhyperior, who takes a lot of damage from Iron Tail, but takes us down to 43 health after 2 Earthquakes. I honestly thought our fight was over since he still had half his team left, but I decided to just go for it. I Dynamaxed early and was able to take out both Rillaboom and Dragapult with G-Max Cuddle and Max Phantasm. Oh my god, we actually made it to Charizard! He Gigantamaxes, and I decide to go for one last G-Max Cuddle, taking him down to 1/4 health. For some reason, he decided to go for Max Overgrowth instead of any singular stab move that he had, and we were able to tank the hit and then outspeed to finish the battle with 1 last Body Slam. Based on how this run went, I definitely didn't think that this was going to be the one where I actually defeated him, but with that we became the Galar Region Champion. Obviously, I understand that me doing this with Gigantamax Eevee gave me an advantage, but if you want to see if this challenge is possible with the standard Eevee and only Dynamaxing, definitely try it out and let me know how it goes. But thank you all so much for watching. This is my first challenge video ever, so definitely let me know your thoughts and be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below if you guys haven't already. I love you all and thank you so much for being a part of the family. Bye guys!